We are recording. Hey!
Hello, hello.
Okay, if any stumbles, don't worry about it, I can take it out.
Okay.
Anything want to restate, go ahead and I can take it out. Do we really want your contact info, website, email, phone number, smoke signals, carrier pigeon, Pony Express, however you want to do this.
All right.
Here we go. Listo?
Mm-hmm. Well, hello there. This is Susan Hamilton, and you're listening to the Offbeat Business Show. Thank you so much for sharing your valuable lunch hour with us. We appreciate you, American business, and we represent you. We understand who you are, and we bring you stuff that is going to help you be awesome in business and take your business to another level within the community. So we represent the 80% of American small business that tend to be family-owned businesses of 9 employees or less. That means we build our businesses while we're raising our kids, taking care of our parents. We probably have a veteran in our family or workspace, and 30% of us know what it's like to have an addict in our family and workspace. Friends, the distractions in business today are like none other. The challenges are great, but we can make this thing work. And it's about time we reestablished our voice. What we want to do is show you who's doing things effectively in American business today. And I'm excited to share with you Jeff Parkerson with Keller Williams Real Estate. He is doing real estate in an offbeat way. Hey, Jeff.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Hey. So what's going on up there in Frisco? You're
Well,
developing your whole country.
yeah. Well, and so what I'm doing is actually my home savings program is Lead the Way. And so that's what we focus on mostly. That's where most of our business is generated from.
Okay, so this is a referral program?
It is. So right now, Lead the Way Home Savings Program is a nationwide program that I came up with last year. There was another company that I was looking at for a few years, and I kind of went off their model. I want to do my own thing and open it up in a different way. I found out that there's different issues, whether if you're a nonprofit or a for-profit, and we could open it up to more people if we were a for-profit company. And so I opened it up to basically we give back to veterans, police officers, firefighters, teachers, medical professionals, ministry. So we added ministry, and they didn't have that. And all of their supporting personnel. So you can be a police dispatcher, a fire dispatcher. You can be a church secretary. You can be a janitor at a school and get our savings, and so we're nationwide. So we give back 25% of our commissions, whether they're buying or selling a house through our program, and we have lending partners nationwide. And you mentioned Keller Williams.
Mm-hmm.
I am currently with Keller Williams, but next month we won't be. We'll be a nationwide brokerage next month.
Wonderful.
So we'll be NREA, National Real Estate Associates, and just finished my broker's courses last night.
That's so exciting. And we got you right on the show right afterwards. That's
yeah.
awesome. That's exciting.
So yeah, so in the idea behind that, the reason why we're switching to a brokerage is because we want to benefit everybody. We want our agents to benefit. We want our clients to benefit. So we're all about giving back. And my background is I served in the Marine Corps. I served 4 years active and 6 years in the reserves. Then I went into police work. I was a police officer for 8 years, and then finished college during that time, and went on to be an air marshal in LA, and came back home and started business. So my degree was in business, and I wanted to do something outside of law enforcement, and started real estate. And I didn't have that feeling that I had when I went in the military, when I went into law enforcement. My idea was to help our country or help our citizens or whatever. In real estate, I was just selling houses, and that didn't give me a good feeling, and so I wanted to do something differently. And I like working with the people from my background, and so I just came up with this idea, and now it's kind of snowballed into becoming our own brokerage and being able to help. Most of the people that are signing on with us now are veterans. We have some police officers, we have some veterans, we have some teachers, and that's what we market to work with us, because they get to work within their own community. And so it's a great feeling for everybody. It's a win-win for everybody.
So I'm just going to kind of walk out a scenario here, and you tell me where we find you, because as a as a nationally focused organization. Say I'm in Ohio and I am looking at a property. This agent decides that he's going to connect with Lead the Way. How does this connection happen?
So right now, if a client in Ohio is looking for a home or looking to sell a home, they would have to register on our website, leadthewayhomes.com.
Okay, which is a little different than the other Lead the Way. So there's a couple Lead the Way programs. Let's make some different.
Well, so I'm sure there's a few different companies with the name Lead the Way. So Lead the Way
we'll have this link underneath the video, friends. You'll have this information.
Yeah, so if anybody served in the Army, they know this term, Lead the Way.
Right.
I got the term Lead the Way from a lieutenant of mine from the police department. He used to end every briefing with Lead the Way. He was an Army Ranger.
Very cool.
So that's where I got the name from, and I stole it from him. But yeah, so there's a lot of names out, a lot of companies out there.
But this is Lead the Way
LeadTheWayHomes.com. And so when they register on our website, we partner them with a realtor and a lender in that area. So, and eventually, as our brokerage gets bigger and bigger, it'll just be our brokerage.
All right, so that's not going to be a problem finding you, but we need to get that word out, which is exactly what we're doing here on
Right.
FB Business Media. Let's let people know where they can find that help, because you're really dealing with a massive amount of the heartbeat of America right here.
Right.
The people that are really stepping up to shape our children, care for our injured, protect us, and that's really wonderful. That's the heart of a Marine, anyway. You know, you started with that. I know what that looks like. As my daughter serves as a Marine.
Absolutely.
And you guys are tough stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for your daughter's service. Fortunately for me, I didn't have to serve in combat, and I'm very, I was, as a young Marine, I was not happy with that. I actually wanted to, but it was a blessing. So
Yes.
I was fortunate that I didn't have to serve during that time. I went in at the Desert Storm, and then got out right before my unit went to Bosnia. So. And then I went into police work, and so my battleground was with the police department. So I got my combat on the streets. So
Yeah, that's an education.
yeah, that's an education. So it's
Well, thank you for that. No doubt about it. So, what are some of the things that we need to be paying attention to? You are commercial and residential?
I do some commercial, limited amount of commercial.
Limited amount of commercial. What are some things that we need to be paying attention to in a very different economic climate? Because there's always that word that says, wow, things can change any minute. You better go look now. As far as this is the time. This is the when you're going to have several buyers to every home sale.
Right. Yeah, and it varies. It varies every area, even in the Dallas area, the different cities around here. Some areas are very slow, while if you list a house in Plano and Frisco, it's going to go overnight. But you may be in Duncanville or other areas down there where it may take months. But it's always shifting, and right now there is a shift in the Dallas area where everybody's dropping prices right now, and so it's. And then with our global market, we're just working all over the U.S. So every market is totally different. So
it's hard to keep your finger on the pulse of that.
Right.
So as a business owner, how do you keep your finger on the pulse of that so that you can share it accurately? I mean, you've got to have quite a bit of knowledge and a lot of continuing education, I imagine, to make sure you're current.
Right. So, as far as my own real estate business, I do have to keep my eyes on that market, on the markets that I'm in. I'm in the Houston market and the Dallas market, personally. On the rest of our business, as far as Lead the Way goes, I don't deal with those markets. I only deal with the connecting the clients with the realtors and the lenders. So when I let the realtors in those areas be the professionals that can educate them on the markets in those areas.
So how does this funding work? Do you have other organizations that come in and fund this and support you?
No, this is all giving. When we partner with our realtors and our lenders, they're giving up a portion of their commissions. So the funding doesn't come from a company. It doesn't come from anything else.
Wow.
It only comes from the people that are providing the service. So it comes from us. It comes from our realtor partners. It comes from our lenders. So it's all giving.
That's fascinating. You know, we talked a little bit earlier about some of your connections with HCC, and that's been an interesting little business incubator. Fascinating every time that I've had an opportunity to meet somebody out of that. I've been there once, and of course I loved it. Saw a lot of familiar faces because I get a chance to network with you guys. But wow, you need that kind of a business incubator. What great minds have put this together.
Yeah, HCC, and just a brief on what they do. You have honor, courage, commitment, and then they have the 22 Kill and the 22 Fellowship. Actually, the 22 Fellowship is now called HCC Fellowship. So HCC and 22 Kill, Andy Wynn started that. The fellowship for HCC is all about empowering veterans. And so, and they're looking for the next class right now. So what you do is you go apply on honorcouragecommitment.org and apply for their program, and you pitch your business to them, and they bring you in. If you're one of the selected ones, they bring you in, they interview you, they ask you details about your business, where you're headed with it, what your ideas are on it. If you're selected for the program, then they fund you to go through the program. You actually get paid to go through their program, and they're sending you to SMU at night. They're sending you to the Carnegie Institute. They're connecting you with every veteran nonprofit in the Dallas area for the 12 weeks that the class is going on, and it's a great deal. That's how I got Lead the Way started. I had already started Lead the Way, and it was brand new at the time, and I went in and I pitched it to them, and I got selected as one of the classmates, and it was great. My commercial that we have was donated via HCC.
Nice.
So Matthew J.C., he has Operation Rock the Troops. He's the one that produced my commercial. So great job. And I didn't have to pay for it, and it was awesome. So, but a lot of connections. My business consultant now, my accounting firm that I use, came to me through HCC. So, huge connection.
Yeah, so that's just kind of putting all the building blocks in place so you can stand up stronger and really hit the nail on the head now, because you've got all those things in place. Because what a distraction when you don't, right?
Right. So I'm a visionary, so I have my visions on how I want to do stuff, but that helped me build the stepping stones that I needed to get everything up and running.
So that's important. And friends, we're about to go to break, and when we get back, we're going to talk a little bit more with Jeff Parkerson. I was going to say local real estate mogul, but he'd probably hit me for that because he's a very humble man, and he is growing this program. And so when we get back, we're going to talk with him a little bit more about those business steps that he's taken so that he can really do a fine job, an excellent job in this area. You're listening to Susan Hamilton, the Offbeat Business Show.
We're clear. How's everything? You feeling okay? Yeah, it sounds good.
Anything particular you want me to cover?
I don't know. I've pretty much got most of my information out there. So
Camp
I'm
on
done.
A little bit. No?
We'll see you later. So it's a challenge for me right now because I'm trying to figure out how much information do I need to not put out there about what we're doing and
about the transition. I know this is a goofy spot when we're in transition, isn't it? All right. Well, when we get back, you watch and see how we're going to transition this, because I'm going to pick his brain. He knows stuff we don't know, and we need to know it.
Okay. Brain picking part 2.
Brain picking part 2.
Are we ready?
Well, that's a great name for a show. Brain picking.
And we're back. This is Susan Hamilton. You're listening to the Offbeat Business Show. I'm talking with Jeff Parkerson, and he's been sharing what he's doing with Lead the Way, this wonderful program for buying and selling homes that these real estate agents are actually giving up part of their commission to support civil servants, military, medical community ministry, so many. It's pretty amazing. And where can they find this information?
leadthewayhomes.com, and that'll give you all the information on the program. And what's been great about it is that, when I first started the idea, I had to do everything myself. When I started getting leads for out of state, I'd have to contact real estate agents and lenders and things like that. And when I pitched the idea to them that you're going to have to give up this commission to this client.
What kind of sell was that?
I was wondering how it was going to be received, but when they hear that who it's for, I have not had any negative responses at all.
That does say a lot about America.
Absolutely, and then just with the breakdown of all the people we give to, I have some people that are focused on ministry. So with our ministry side of the program, I have people that only target ministry with that. I have, my background is police and veterans, so I'm huge on the police and veterans side of it. So everybody has their little niche within the program, and that's been great too. So I have lenders that are ministers on the side. I have 2 lenders, partners that were Marines, and one that was a police officer, 2 that were a police officer.
You're an interesting fella. You've got a very well-rounded basket of knowledge there that we can glean from, and it's interesting because let's just talk about some current events there, friend.
Okay.
Because we got a little hostility in America going on. A lot of it towards our officers, and some of it you may or may not believe is deserved or not.
Yeah.
I don't, but I do. I have heard officers say, "Hey, wait a minute, we could do a better job."
Yeah.
So where do you stand on that?
Well, I don't really like to get too much into that, but I'm always back in the blue.
Yeah.
I think that the media gets paid by getting ratings, and so sometimes they will cause certain reactions that
Kind of
are
focus
undue,
on that, yeah.
are undue, yeah. And so I had a friend reach out to me about what happened. I stopped watching the news.
You got that right.
I haven't watched the news in over a year.
I think it's really damaged their ratings.
Every once in a while, I hear something, I'll turn it on. But otherwise, I don't. I used to watch the news daily. I can't stand it anymore because it's negative. It just.
It seems like it's pulling you one direction or another. Like it's trying
to divide everybody.
Yeah.
And I don't watch the news. I like positive. I think that America's great. I think the people in America are great. And I have my own show that I was talking to people the other day that I said, if you think about it, people are really good, and we don't see that in the news. If just you go to a QT, and I don't remember the last time somebody didn't open the door for me or hold it open for me, or I didn't for them, or I was witness an accident the other day, and it was a bad accident where a car hit another car and it flipped over, and everybody just stopped, and nobody asked what gender somebody was or what race somebody was. Everybody jumped in and helped, and there was no second thought.
That was my experience too. We saw a bad accident. It's very similar to your experience, seeing it and watching the entire highway stop, get out, and meanwhile stop the traffic.
Yeah.
I mean, and get out there and turn. They all got together to turn that vehicle over, and there were a lot of lives lost, and they were right there.
Yeah. So I think that's the true America. I don't think that we're as divided as the media tries to put it out there. So I don't focus on that. And somebody asked me about the police stuff, and I said, in my 11 years in law enforcement, I've only been around 2 shootings ever, and they weren't, they were white males, and so I didn't see this racism that's on the, that they're portraying on the media.
It just wasn't your experience.
That's not my world. And then I don't know any of those incidents that have happened at the departments I worked at. So, I think that there may be issues in other places, but it's not in my world. So.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, thanks for sharing with that. I know, but when you've got 11 years in this and you've seen it, we want to know what
Right.
you've seen.
Right.
It makes a difference to us.
Hold it. Hold on. Stop recording. But it was right when he said, I get recovered. Hold on. Hold on. Whew. Okay. I could pick up where he left off on, so let me. He just quit on me.
See, that's the part of this world I don't want.
Yeah.
I really love having Earl deal with this. I'm not Miss Tech at all. This is as tech as I get, friends. This using an iPad to record this. That's why I need wonderful guys like Earl Enriquez.
You were talking about the shooting?
He's talking about not seeing any. He's
Well, it was about the shooting, and that's not my world, and it quit there.
Okay.
Oh, I think that was the end.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much where it was. Okay, so we can.
pick up
Yeah.
one
Mhm.
here. So let me go from there.
Well, we have to ask you because when you've got 11 years in it, we expect that you have seen some things. Everything from the domestic things. Surely you've gone to people's homes and had to calm them down. I'm curious what you've seen even when it comes to right now with the drugs and kids, because there's so much of that going on. Especially with alternative drugs out there, that parents, probation officers, and parole officers really can't. And I imagine officers are in a lot of danger because they don't know what's going to climb out of that vehicle.
Exactly, and we saw the worst of humanity as a police officer. I was talking to you off air, and I was telling you about you're in that world, and it's just become so negative. And every call you go to is negative. People don't call the police because they're having a great day. You don't see anything like that. It's all negative all day. Whether it's a traffic stop or it's a murder suicide or it's a kid drowned or whatever, it's bad all day. And so you kind of become numb to the world. And what I started doing to get away from that was I started volunteering, and charities are a great avenue to recover from that kind of situation.
Wisdom, my friend, wisdom.
And
good advice.
Yeah, so the one thing that always bothered me when I was a police officer was anything that happened to kids. That would just... so I started volunteering for Make-A-Wish, and I became a Wish granter. I'm still a Wish granter for Make-A-Wish. And that's kind of how, I went and did my own show for a little bit, and it was all about charities. And so we just figured out that charities are a great avenue for people. Whether it's veterans suffering from PTS or it's just people in a negative situation, volunteering and helping others is a great avenue. And that's why we like what we do with Lead the Way, is because it makes us feel good to give back. And then, it makes everybody feel good. Our realtors feel good. Our lenders feel good. Everybody feels good.
Changes the focus, doesn't it? It puts the focus back in being a solution rather than just meditating on the problem, which is really, like you said, with the media, what we tend to do.
Yeah. And, with, real estate, it takes it more from buying and selling a home. So now it's...
Now you got some purpose.
We're actually doing something to help somebody. So it's, so it's great.
Well, I love that. I love that. I think that's important, where we put our focus on. So how long did it take you to get comfortable with buying and selling homes when you went from such much more dynamic lifestyle and employment to selling homes? How long did it take you to kind of gel into that?
Well, I don't think it was that hard. With real estate, it's one of those things that it takes time to build up. Income-wise, it has to snowball. But as far as just transitioning, that wasn't too hard. I was ready for a move anyway.
Ready for something a little more peaceful? So you got sick of those long bad days?
Yeah, I'm pretty easy at adjusting. So, just going from, my background, just going from the Marine Corps you know, I was a logistics guy, so I had to kind of roll with the punches as a logistics guy because it was my job to get us from, you know, North Carolina to Japan to Australia. I was a logistics chief at 20 years old.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of
and,
responsibility,
yeah,
young man.
just having to, you know, have the working parties and control them and build up the freight and load the airplanes and do the load plans for the aircraft and have the billeting set up and all the stuff that we did as a, you know, as a 20 and 21-year-old Marine, then coming into the civilian world and, you know, just the transition there, and then police work is, you never know what's going to happen every day. So it's kind of all relative. You know, all of it is just, you just never know what's going to happen the next day. And my wife asks me all the time, she's like, what do you got planned tomorrow? I said, I don't know. So it just happens a lot.
You have got to be one of the most easygoing men I have ever met. Oh, my stars, you have such a history. And I guess that's a self-preservation tool, though, right? I mean, but you've got a faith.
Yeah.
You've got a solid foundation. You know
Yeah.
what you believe, and
Yeah.
you know where you're headed.
Yeah, yeah. We're very blessed. So I feel that you know, we're on the right path, and we're led on this path, and so
Let's go make a difference and do it good, huh?
yeah, absolutely.
So, I'd like to be sharing this information on our member directory. I think that would be a good idea. Meanwhile, you will find all this information at the bottom of this video and on Jeff Parkerson's podcast page when this goes out. So we want to make sure that you have access to it. And go ahead and tell us again how we can get connected, because friends, chances are one of you knows a teacher, a doctor, an officer,
A
or a veteran.
Yeah, a minister. Our target audience for this is at least 20% of the population. So
That's
there's
significant.
5 million homes were sold last year, so we're about 1 million homes last year that we could have helped those clients. But they can find us at leadthewayhomes.com. leadthewayhomes.com. You can call me at 817-823-0781.
That's awesome, and that's what we need to do. So friends, you will find all this information. You'll find the lineup, you'll find our replays, you'll be able to download the app, get into our magazine and find out what our incredible contributors are putting out there, and find out who's sponsoring this program, because this is a big deal and we are making a big difference in this area. This is Susan Hamilton. You go to offbeatbusiness.com for all of your latest information, and you've been listening to the Offbeat Business Show. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Anything you want to add?